And welcome to For Action Takers Only 2024. This is going to be our first one with Shanna Clark from Sub 2. She's interviewed me before. Now I'm getting her on mine. We're going to see what her goals and aspirations are for the 2024. Talk about what's going on in the real estate market and all that stuff. So let's bring her in. How you
Hi,
doing?
Todd.
How's it going, Shayna?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
So, did you have a good celebration last night?
I did. I
Yeah.
did.
What did you do?
Went over to a friend's house and there was like a small cozy party there.
All right.
So,
That sounds fun.
yeah.
Yeah, I kept it quiet. I think I was in bed by 11, so even before New Year's, I was in bed. It was
That's
New
what my
Year's your
daughter
time, though.
said. My
Yeah.
daughter was like, "Mom, I put some earplugs in and I went to bed early like an old lady." And I was like, "That's my job."
There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Mm.
Not at all. So what do you got going on? What are your plans for 2024 with Sub 2? What are you gonna do?
Oh, got some plans. Let's see. Well, it seems like expired listings is a really good way to go right now.
You think so?
Yeah, that's the talk around the sub 2 town.
So go direct to seller with expired listings, or are you still trying to go
Mhm.
through agent?
Yes, you get direct to seller with expired listings and pasted a whole Zoom on it the other day. And yeah, you can go right to the seller. Um I have before called expired listings. I called the agent on expired listings,
Mm-hmm.
and they have just been like, "Hey, we'd be happy to if you give us information about the house and get us in contact with the seller, and you know, maybe if it's in another state, have them write the offer and this and that because we don't, if you don't have access to that state's contract forms."
Right.
So I mean, I've done that before. But yeah, expired listings, it looks like is the way to go right now.
Is that what Pace? You said we were talking about the Zooms. He did a couple Zooms. So is that what he was talking about? It's coming into 2024 is what he's seeing the market.
He did with us lately. We've been spoiled since he's been home with a new baby. So
He's
he's
been
been
doing a
doing
lot.
more Zooms. So he did a Zoom on expired listings. He did a Zoom on New Year's Eve, what to expect in the community in 2024. And he also did I'm missing one. Which one am I missing?
I don't know. I turned off the
Oh, goal
computer.
setting.
Goal setting. That's right. Goal setting.
Mhm.
See, I
Yep.
wanted to see the goal setting. I wanted to see what he had going on for 2024. Those I turned the computer off for a couple days. I just had to step away from it. So
Mhm.
sometimes you got to do
So,
that.
um, sh I don't know if we should talk about some of this stuff because it was kind of just like a community Zoom.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, we don't have to go into what they were talking about, but I wanted to, I was going to say, have you been watching market news and stuff coming up into 2024, market for real estate market and what they're talking about? I mean, there's all sorts of guys. Like I watch a bunch of different ones, like the Real Estate Ninja, or I don't really watch them, but I catch a bunch of different stuff on YouTube just to try and see what's going on. But they're all over the place. Some are saying crash, some are saying no,
mhm.
it's good, some are no, it's multifamily is going to go down. Your commercial space is definitely going down. Still rebound. It's still recovering from COVID, or still having problems from the COVID and everybody working from home. So office space
Mhm.
is wide open and prices and that. I don't know. So it's just there's so much out there. It's like how do you tell what's good?
Well, what they say is, I mean, and this goes for anything, not just in real estate, always consider the source, right?
Right.
So if you're watching things about the real estate market, make sure that those are people that are making waves in the real estate market, right?
Credible, yeah.
Mhm. There are some people out there that have been saying that the market's going to crash for the last few years.
Right. Well, yeah, I don't listen to I hear those, but there's some that are saying, "Hey, it's getting ready to take a big turn." There's a whole bunch of stuff, and I wonder because the same is around 2008. There was a lot of just confusion stories going on. Oh, market's good, market's good. There's nothing wrong with it, and that's what I see. I see realtors saying that market's good, everything's there's uh,
Yeah.
houses, single family houses. There's no shortage there. I don't see here in Houston. There's no shortage in multifamily. They're building them all. They're popping up all over the place. New apartment buildings are going up all over the place. So
Mhm. Yeah, we kind of need that right now, right? I mean, we have all these people that came into the country that their whatever
see,
assistance the government gave them is ran out, and now you have a homeless epidemic, and everybody seems to be shocked about that.
well,
Like,
that's the
what
other
do you
thing.
guys expect?
Well, that was the other thing I was gonna. It's like, hey, we got an influx, and now they're saying four. I was watching a story. They're expecting 4 million more, and I think 4 million by the end either of I don't know if it was January or the end of the year, the end of
What's
2020.
the total now? Do you know what we're up to now? Like a true
Don't
total?
even know, but you're seeing you definitely see it when you go to Subway and different places. Like when I go to Subway, there's no English speakers working there anymore, all Spanish. Down here,
Yeah, they're
that's
coming
down here
from
in Texas.
everywhere, though. I mean,
Yeah, and Texas is pissing off everybody else. I know. We got Chicago pretty upset. Their mayor because we're busing them up there or flying them up there. But hey, you guys are okay with the open borders. Then how come you're not okay with
mhm.
taking them? That's kind of how our governor's acting with it. You guys are okay with open borders. You should be okay with taking them in then too, huh?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let's get all
I
we can.
just I mean, all in all, though, I mean, it's just there's, like, a huge need for, affordable housing.
You're that's true, and it's gonna get, there's gonna be a bigger need, especially if we have
Mhm,
this influx, I'm wondering, I'm trying to figure out what more to head towards. I'm going towards single family, but here in Texas, we've talked about this, insurance rates kind of are deterring me from starting to buy single family. I wanna buy single families, but those rates and the cash flow on them because of the insurance rate just doesn't justify right now, or that's how I have it in my mind. I might be looking at things wrong, need to look at things
mhm.
different. But multifamily seems to be the way to go. Fannie Mae also has a new thing out there for multifamily loans for people getting into multifamily. You can get a 5%.
Oh, right, I
Have
think
you heard
Pieces
that?
told us something about that. Yeah.
5% Fannie Mae loan. You can get 5% down on a Fannie Mae loan for multifamilies of over four doors and more. So it's
Mhm.
like, it's better. They're giving you more incentive to buy multifamily um, that way because you still got to put 20 down on a single family house. So it'd be, you can be you could end up being in a cheaper situation getting into a multifamily dwelling cheaper than you can a single family.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
they're finding single or they're finding some 4 or 5, door units. They're finding for 300,000-400,000. They can get into 15,000 with the 5% down. It's just like,
Mhm.
wow. Now I can even pull my own cash out and do that. So that's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah. Um There's also, so I know that the insurance in Florida is because of the hurricanes. What's the biggest reason in Texas?
Flooding and I think hurricanes, flooding and hurricanes.
Flooding and
Yeah, especially
hurricanes in Texas?
Yeah, we get them all. Yeah, we get them up through Gulf of Mexico. We don't have them
Mm.
probably as often as Florida, but yeah, we get them. But they're, I don't know. It's just like a bad storm.
Oh,
We've
wow.
had a few. We had a few years ago did some damage. Mostly when they come in, it's flooding and wind damage. So yeah, we get
Mm.
a lot of flooding here in Houston. Got a lot of flooding issues here in Houston. But
Mhm.
so that's one of the insurance. I don't know why else it would be going up. That's all I can
Are
think
there a
of.
lot of companies pulling out of there too as
No,
well?
we've had a lot move here. Now I did read a story, I think it was a week or two ago, about companies pulling out of Austin already because Austin has kind of become like California. So
Mhm.
taxes are going up there. Homeless is kind of skyrocketing there. Crime has gone up drastically there. Uh,
Mm,
so it's California. Thanks for bringing all the problems. We appreciate
right. Everybody.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you still have the immigration on top of that. Not only do we have all the people from California moving here, California and other blue states, but then you have the immigration. So I think that's why our governor is like, no, we're gonna bust these people on out of here because
Mhm.
that's too. They're the sad thing, reading all this stuff. I don't know how true it is. Reading some of the art, the headlines on the news is they're getting medical, they're getting housing before Americans and homeless Americans and veterans. So,
Mhm.
that doesn't that should kind of strike a fire. And I think most Americans, especially anybody that's had, I don't care what side you're on, that should kind of spark a fire. They're taking your benefits away and giving them to someone that just came in the country illegally. So who knows?
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
so that's just a big bummer. We'll see how it plays out this year.
yeah.
So what
As
else?
far as huh?
What did Pace what did Pace say though? What does he what is his market forecast? Let's talk about just market forecast.
He does not believe that the market's gonna crash.
Yeah.
It just things don't point to that. He did mention someone who gives really good data on the market. And I forgot his name. I can't for the life of me. I mean, I guess if I sit here and went through these notes, I could find it. But and I think he's gonna have this person on his podcast. He's gonna do some more high level podcast interviews. He's not gonna travel as much this year as he did last year. And he's really looking to have more high level people. He talked about some projects that he has in mind, um, how he
Well,
wants to
he's getting more into fundraising and doing bigger stuff. He's
Mhm.
he's starting to go down the Grant Cardone road. He's going down that road now. So
Yeah. I mean, most of these people have been doing this a lot
mm.
longer than him. I mean, he climbed that ladder super fast.
Well, yeah,
But
couple years.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Grant is like 65.
Hmm.
Um,
And he's been doing it a while.
and Jerry Norton's been doing it longer than him. I don't know how long Jamil's been doing it. There's gonna be another season of, the show too on
Oh,
A&E.
oh, okay. So, well, see, that's one thing that helped him come up. He had TV shows, then he had the Community, so he had a lot. Especially I think with the Community, the Sub Two Community, and his Facebook group, his free Facebook group. I think that
Mhm.
blew him up quick too. So, because
All
there's
well deserved. I mean,
yeah,
I'm thoroughly convinced that he is living his life's purpose well beyond what he was even hoping to do.
yeah. It's just like, where do you get the energy to do it all? How do you know, all the filming, the traveling, the doing
Mhm.
this, the doing that? It's just like, man, where do you? I know he gets up quite early, and he stays up. I don't know what time he goes to bed, but I know he gets up quite early, and he has a good schedule. So that's my thing this year. I was when I first started sub two, I was getting up pretty early and taking care of stuff. Then I got sick and kind of slacked off more. This year is getting back on track. I'm gonna start my early morning schedule and just stick to that schedule no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was talking about all the highly successful people all have a routine, or maybe I didn't get that from him. Maybe I got that somewhere else.
Most people do. If you study them, they have a routine. They don't, just go by the fly of their pants. It's like they
Hmm.
have really plans. They're not getting up and just okay. I'll have breakfast and then let's see where it goes from there. Where most of us average people, I think, just do that. And we just wake up. Okay, what am I going to do today?
Right, right, yeah. So if you have that same morning routine every single morning, of your workout and your meditation, your whatever. He was also talking about the lizard brain. Did you ever hear him talk about that?
Mm-mm. What's the lizard brain?
So the lizard brain is like when you are supposed to do, like, for example, if you're supposed to do 30 push-ups and you get to like 23 and you're like, I just can't do no more. He was talking about punishing the lizard. Oh, I can't do no more. I can't do 30. Well, guess what? Now I'm going to do 40.
Uh
And
oh.
punishing the lizard brain, because the lizard brain, the reason why it's called the lizard brain is that is the part of our brain that is all about like survival, right? So that's the part of your brain that says, no, relax, don't, you need to save your strength in case you need to run from the lion or whatever.
Right. Fight or flight.
It's fight, right, exactly. So it's the part that kind of it's all about survival. Um and don't let the lizard brain tell you no. Great. My earring just fell out.
Uh oh.
Sad.
I see your cat's behind you too on the chair.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Yay.
So, did you read that Limitless book?
I did not. That's the brand new one that just came out.
Is it? How did you get it so
Yeah.
quick?
I don't even think there's enough time since it came out to read it.
Oh, you have to
So
look.
Pace like went ahead and told everybody that got on the list he would buy him a copy.
Oh, okay.
But I was already on the limitless seminar and ordered a copy before he offered to buy it. So
All right. That's one I
al-
want to read.
already bought it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean that's like the expanded edition that just came out.
All right. So, what's your cat
Who
doing
else?
back there?
Somebody, oh, he's being good now. This is the one. Did I tell you about my daughter dropping off a cat?
What
And I was
happened?
like, honey, I am not the SPCA. Like, what the heck? But yeah,
Are you the
oh,
cat
he
lady? You have a lot of cats.
people think I am, but I'm not.
The cat
Oh
lady.
my
How many
god, for
cats
the
you got?
longest time I just had one. And that was because my daughter left him behind when she moved out. But him and I have been together for so long. He's like what, 14, 15,
Okay.
whatever. And then I feel like they just started showing up ironically over the last few years.
Okay. They just start showing up, huh? We got one. I brought him home from work. He's been here about 5, 6 years now, but I got one, and he's a feral cat. He'll come in. He doesn't like the cold, so he only comes in the house when
Oh,
it's cold or the fireworks. So he was in the house last night, but otherwise, and he'll stay outside and he still brings us mice and squirrels. He'll bring one for him and eat it, and then he'll go get another one. And here you go.
he's trying to feed you.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. He
Exactly.
tries to feed us. Yeah, so he still does that. So
Oh,
he's
it's
a good
funny.
cat.
This one, it's very rare that you see him sleeping or chilling.
Oh yeah, usually he's all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, she brought him over here because he was annoying the crap out of her. He was always outside her door. He was meowing, meowing, meowing. She's like, "Oh my god, mom, it's so bad." Like, I'll open the door to go to work, and he's like hanging on the screen. And I mean, he's just one of those really young males that's just. I mean, I got him neutered and everything, but he still hasn't calmed down. He can go 2 floors up in 1.5 seconds. I don't even
Uh-oh.
think I'm exaggerating at all.
Is
I
he
mean,
upside
he's
down right now?
literally bouncing off the walls.
Well, he's still he sounds young. He's probably a young cat then.
Yeah, but I got him neutered, like, immediately. I got the first appointment they had.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so
All right,
they
let's
said it
get
was gonna take about 2 or 3 months for him to really calm down, and I'm like,
calm down, gain some weight. He's got to gain some weight too.
"Oh, he has. He has gained a lot. When he came here, he was, like, starving."
Okay. So
Let me
yeah,
tell you.
once you cut their nuts and they start gaining weight, that's when they'll really start slowing down too. 'Cause-
Yeah, he's
yeah,
gained a lot of weight. He was starving when he got here. He was skinny, 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 skinny.
skinny, 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 huh?
Yeah, and you could tell somebody threw him outside because he was just too much to handle.
Oh yeah.
I hate when people do that. It's like,
Yeah, they do that
mm,
all the time. The dogs and the cats.
yeah, there's a lot of new people in my neighborhood, and I feel like they just all think they want to get cats, and then they don't like them, and they throw them outside or whatever. And
Yeah,
I mean, I really,
that's sad
I
with
mean,
pets.
like,
It's
I don't
sad.
know if he was born to a stray or if somebody threw him outside, but if somebody did throw him outside, I got it. And I
Hmm.
told her, I said, "Are you sure he doesn't belong to somebody else? Are you sure?" She's like, "Oh, I am 100% sure. He was sleeping on my porch." And I'm like,
Right. Well, our cat's all over the place. We got our neighbor, but the neighbor knows he's ours. He hangs out with the neighbors quite often. And then I was driving around the other day. I was like, geez, he was 3 streets over. I was like, geez, I didn't know he went that far away, but he does. He's all over the place.
yeah.
Luckily, nobody messed with him. He's been here now in this neighborhood, I guess a good at least 5 years. So hanging around with us. So
Wow.
yeah, he's been good. So tell me about your goals. We're in 2024. We're starting 2024 fresh, brand new. We're only like 6 hours or no, we're a little more than 6 hours in, but uh we're almost a day in. What are your goals?
I'm going to pull it up on
I
Facebook.
yeah, I saw that post you put on Facebook. That was a good
Yeah, so he wanted us to go put that in there, and we kind of like edited it to fit our own version. If you notice, everybody's was a little bit different.
Mhm.
Um,
You do that on the just a regular sub 2 page or the sub 2 group?
yes, the private sub 2 group.
Mhm. Yeah, tonight I'm gonna have to watch those 2 Zooms, or at least one, try and get
Oh,
one.
actually, I put it right here. I don't have to look on Facebook. I copied it because I wanted to print it out. So, oh, he's like, "Guys, I know you want to wholesale in the beginning, but you need to get some buy and holds. You need to I want everybody to get rentals. Everybody needs to get rentals and stop just wholesaling, wholesaling, wholesaling."
Yeah, see, that's the one thing I want, and that's where I've been talking with some other people too. It's like I want to buy and hold. That's what I want to be. I want to be a, you know, do I need multifamily or single family is the dilemma. But yeah, everybody comes in, and me too. It's like, hey, let's get some wholesales done to make some money. Everybody comes in here and wants to recoup what they paid to come in, and then, or at least that's my mindset. It's like, okay,
Mhm.
let's do some wholesales. It seems like
And also to have a bank. I mean, you wanna have a cushion because if, you're getting buy and holds and you're gonna have carry costs and you may have repair costs and, before you can build all that up.
right, and I don't wanna be too deep in with private money or hard money lenders. That's
Right.
that's where I worry. There's where my fear is. There's a big fear I have, and I've talked with a few people about it, is I have a big fear with private money. I could get started buying and holding,
Right.
but I'm scared of the private money.
I think a lot of people have that. You kinda wanna make sure that you have a little cushion to fall back on before you start making.
Something to cover my ass, yeah.
Right, right, right.
I'm a
Totally understandable.
I'm a cover my ass kind of guy. I don't want to be in a situation where someone comes in and just go, okay, well, you didn't, hey, you fucked up. Great. Thanks for the house. And they get a deal and I'm kind of out maybe a couple thousand. Maybe I'm not out anything, but still it
Mhm.
would be a great learning situation. But if I'm out anything, that's where I can't afford to be out anything right now. I have my family. I'm a single parent, so I have my son to think about.
Oh,
Yeah.
you just
So
have a son?
I just have, yeah, I have a son. I'm a single dad. He's 10 years old, and my mother. So it's and that's where things are changing this year too. I have to change.
Mm.
I have to rethink things going into New Year because mom's going blind. She lost an eye last year in April. We had to have one removed, and the other one's going now to glaucoma. So
Oh,
now
no.
I was getting home and trying to cold call and get home from work, try and cold call for 2 hours, and she would
Mm.
try to, do things, but I'm gonna have to take care of things now. So I'm gonna take care of dinner. I'm gonna have to cut out cold calling in the evening, though I didn't have much result from it anyway. I think it was just bad time. I think from
And you
6
still have a day job too, right?
I still have a day job. So what I'm trying to do is I'm gonna start trying to cold call at lunchtime on my day job. So I still have an hour there to do that. But yeah, I got to make some changes. I got to figure some other things out this year. So
And I'm an empty nester, no grandkids, which is a shame because talents that I have are being wasted.
right.
I mean, they're
Yeah, I see. I need some help in the home front and the business front, but it's like I got to get the home front figured out first, and meals and stuff in the evening right now are a big issue.
right, right. I could see that. Wow.
Work at
Yeah.
5:30. I gotta sit in traffic for half an hour, 45 minutes if I'm lucky, get home, and
Oh,
then
I
try
hate
and
the
try and
traffic.
do that. So, yeah, cold calling is gonna be I hate to tell the guy that I've been doing, he gave me such, the team I've been on, he gave me a hell of an opportunity, but I'm gonna have to say, "Hey, I gotta lay it down now for that." And I'm gonna focus on another one for a little bit, just doing some trying to do some multi-family cold calling and see how that goes. But I've also figured out I don't want to be. I would like to have a one-on-one conversation with Pace because he's great at reading people and what they're good at, their strengths. And I know I'm not. I can be good at cold calling. I can talk to people, but I hate it.
See, the thing about I know, I do too. The thing about cold calling is it wastes so much time. Have you thought about getting a VA?
I thought about it, but I don't have, I have nothing coming in. Everything's forking out to these monthly subscriptions for all the software. So it's like I just got a notice the other day from my business bank account. I got to get some money in there. It's like shit.
So
So
that's one of my goals is to build a team and have it up and running by year's end.
hmm
And I'm kinda, like, working on 2 teams right now, so I'm not only am I trying to do business, I'm also, like, taking a lot of notes, so, about building a team in general,
well, see,
you
I've been
know?
working on two teams too. Now Michael's team is I don't know if he has more behind the background. I know he has a VA or 2 that work, out of the Philippines. He has pretty much one guy, his I don't know what you wanna call him. He's main VA, he does everything for him, probably integrator, all that, but he's out of the Philippines, and then he's got a couple people that are calling for him, that I know of. It looks like he's got
And
a
and who's that?
his name is Michael Hayes. I don't know if he's gonna get mad if he sees this, he might I don't know if he'll get mad or not.
I
Hope
mean, what's his relation to you?
Oh, he's been a good I've known Michael for a long time. He was like one of my first childhood friends. We weren't like best friends all the years, but I've known him since I was like 10, 11 years old.
Mhm.
He is the reason I got into Sub 2 because I saw his posts on Facebook that he was actually doing it. And I
Oh.
always thought Pace was another full of shit guy on YouTube, because there's a
See,
bunch of
I as soon as I saw him, well, what he was saying was blowing my mind to begin with, first of
yeah,
all.
too
But
good.
then I had the same skepticism, because there's all these people out there saying this and that and the other, right? I had the same skepticism. And back when I first discovered him, kind of like the end of 2022, most of what he had on YouTube were the Zooms that he was doing with his students, right? So,
Mhm.
I'm doing my realtor thing, but when I was driving to showings and between showings and this and that, and I was doing, a lot of stuff in Harford County, I would listen to his Zooms in the car and I would listen to him while I'm, cooking in the shower, cleaning, whatever. And I picked up on some things right away. I was like, "Oh, ooh, oh," and the things that I picked up on were telling me that he was a Mormon.
Mm,
And I was raised Mormon. I mean, I haven't been a Mormon since I was been on my own, but I grew up in that church. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So that right there kind of helped me. That really helped with me being able to trust him right off the bat. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I
He
mean,
se he seemed more legit than others. I'll give him that, and that's why I kept watching him, and then, I saw I think it might have been April last year, Michael Hayes. I saw Michael Hayes was doing stuff in real estate on my YouTube. I'd see his posts. And then he did one post. He was like about an Airbnb that he put together. The thing looked badass. And he was like, "This is all help from the sub two community." And I'm like,
yeah.
so I called him that night. I was like, "You're in sub two?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "How long have you been doing sub two?" Because I've been watching Pace's videos for probably about a year, but I thought he was kind of full of shit. It sounds too good to be true. It really does.
Yeah.
And there was another guy. There's another one called the Go Getter Family. He does the same thing, but he does. I feel
He
he
does creative finance.
yeah, he teaches sub two and creative finance, and he's talking about
Mhm.
people being the bank. But he was one I didn't see him doing deals, and he was real shady. That one came across as real shady to me, so I stayed away. Uh, and I thought it was just, there's a handful of people out there doing this sub two thing. And then you know how the realtors are, because I do have a couple realtor friends out in the world, and I asked them, "Hey, what's this sub two and creative finance?" And they all want to tell you too, "Oh, that stuff's illegal. It's bogus. It's a scam. Stay away from it." So it's like, okay, I'll stay away from it. And it's even after I got into this community, I have one friend realtor. I got into the community. I started this up. I started this podcast, and I said, "Hey, man, I'm doing this podcast. It's about real estate investing, this and that. We want to build relationships with realtors too, and I'd love to have you on." And he was like, "No, that's just not in my business plan. Uh, I don't mess with. I stay away from that stuff. And good luck to you." So I was like, "Oh, okay." So yeah, there's a lot still here in Texas that really look down um, and frown upon the sub two and creative finance. They're still telling people, "Oh, it's a scam. It's not legit." And then you
Who
can say
is?
realtors.
Oh.
Realtors are telling people that. I don't think it's as much as it used to be, but they still tell them that.
Yeah, I mean, see, here's what realtors don't understand. I mean, I don't know why realtors are telling people that, because number 1, we know it's not true.
No,
We
it's an
know it's
IRS.
perfectly legal,
Yeah,
right?
it's an IRS.
Number 2, why else would they tell people that? Do they feel threatened? Here's the thing.
That's what I think it is.
Realtors need us. I mean, I know about the realtor world. I am a realtor, right? Realtors need us. And like I was telling a realtor the other day, it's like, look, you can purchase a home every 5 to 7 years, help people buy a new home and sell their home every 5 to 7 years at the most. You know what I mean? I mean, sometimes people stay 10 years in a house, 15 years in a house, but 5 to 7 years is about the average.
Mhm.
Um, but you can do deals with investors like all the time, consistently.
Well, that's the thing, and there was a one big article coming out, and because of the recent lawsuit with realtors, or the
Mhm.
National Realtors Association, and
Mhm.
on commissions and stuff. There was a big article I was reading that, man, it's like, hey, realtors need to gear up. That their market is changing. Their customer base is going to change. They are going to be
Yeah.
dealing more with investors than they are just regular sellers, because
Yeah.
that's just the way it's going. You got
Yeah.
people buying up you're going to have
The
more.
whole lawsuit is just crazy ridiculous anyway. I mean, it was all about the sellers having to pay the buyer's agent. Well, they didn't have to. That's just kinda how it always ended up being because, they're making all the money, and then in order to do the sellers are the ones that are making the profit in the deal, right? And, the buyers are the ones that have to come out of pocket. So buyer sellers just started, offering, say, hey, you know what? In order to sell my house, I'll pay a buyer's agent if they bring me somebody to buy my house, because there wasn't a lot of business being done, and that just really ramped up the business. Um, but I forgot where I was going with that.
Yeah.
Told you I'm like tired. Like,
You're all right. You're all right because as you're talking about that, I'm thinking about you talking about saying do more buy and holds, and I've noticed that. I definitely noticed that here in Houston is all your sub two groups that are doing sub two deals or creative deals. They're getting them, but they're not getting them for themselves. They're not buying and holding. They're getting them for wholesales. So
yeah.
they get them under contract, and then they're just trying to push them along. And it's just like, okay, there's not enough. It doesn't seem like there's enough people
I
buying.
got it, because that's a whole system. I mean, wholesaling it, you get the money, right? And when you're new, on the investor side of things, you're just like, there all these things come up, like, you're just afraid of holding the bag, and you're not really sure about the systems and how to set them up yet. So in order to kind of help with that whole thing, he told us that that needs to be some of our goals for 2024. Make new friends, make at least like what, 50 new friends, at least 50, sometimes some maybe more. And then another one was to get, a buy and hold or a few buy and holds in your portfolio, start building your portfolio. He wanted us to attend 2 events.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, I heard that. You said at least two events. I would love. Yeah, I'd love to. I wanted to attend two this year. There's two big ones I would have loved to have gone to, but
Yeah.
you know, you got to invest in yourself, but you also have to have the money to do that.
Yes, and you gotta be able to, I mean, you have a child and a mom that you're kinda taking care of. I mean,
Yeah,
I just wouldn't know what to do with these cats while I'm gone.
yeah. See, that's been my struggle is my son and my mom. How am I going to do this? How am I going to get certain things done? So it's been playing. It's been hard. All soccer season, like I like to go to this Houston Power Hour, but my son likes soccer, so that's on Saturdays. And this year, or this season, all his games were right at the times when I'd be able to go to Power Hour. So if his games were earlier or later, I could have still done my thing, but I have to give up. When that stuff happens, I have to give up my stuff. So my
Right,
stuff goes first.
and
And
those are his soccer games?
yeah, yeah, those are for him. He's 10. He's got to, I don't want him sitting in here. I like him being involved in the soccer because he's getting out and doing stuff. Otherwise, while I'm at work, he's always on video games or tablets and stuff. And he's just watching the shorts and doing that stuff. And it's just, no good.
Yeah,
No good. I want to have him.
yeah.
I wish I was here more. And that's the one thing. My goal this year, I'd really like to be able to quit my job, have enough coming in. I can quit my job so I can be here to be a little more help and then be more involved in his life, so he's not sitting on a freaking tablet all the time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. My son, used to play video games a lot too. That was a little bit different world back then, just a little bit. I mean, he's 26 now,
Yeah.
and he's working at Google.
Ooh.
So, I mean, I all that
It's a
techie
good
stuff
thing.
kinda paid off.
Yeah.
Um,
See,
doesn't always turn out like that, but what was
yeah, he's
that?
got a half brother. He's got a half brother.
Okay.
That lives up in Fort Worth with his aunt and uncle. Now he's 15, almost 16, gonna be 16 here at the end of the or in a few days actually. But
Mhm.
he was always into the games. I worried about him when he was younger because he just couldn't, and they didn't do it like that side of the family didn't try to pull him away from the games. They just let him sit on them all the time. And I was like, oh, but
Yeah.
luckily he got involved in school band, marching band, and
Mhm.
it has turned him around. He is oh man, it's amazing. I'm proud of that kid. He's a go-getter. I'm trying to get him. I tell him about sub two and doing this stuff too. It's like I kind of push it on both of them because it's like, look, guys, I want to teach you something that was never taught to me. don't work for somebody else, work for yourself.
Right.
Then you can really pursue your dreams. When you're working for somebody else, you always have to put your stuff aside for somebody else.
Well, once they see you doing really well, I think they'll just kinda automatically wanna follow suit, you
So I
know?
gotta get there. Yeah, that's also the struggle. Gotta get there.
I'll tell you what though, them playing video games, I mean, I know everything needs to be balanced, but them playing video games is not such a bad thing. I mean, they're learning so many different things. I used to tell my friends this, they were like, "Oh, he plays video games." They're like, "Don't let him play all the time." I'm like, I don't know about that. He's learning a lot. He's learning dexterity. He's learning problem solving skills. He's learning like so many things that, and like people our age, we just don't
Well,
fully
some
understand because we didn't have internet, let alone video games growing up.
he's not just doing the video games though anymore. He was if it was just video games, I'd be like, okay, that'd be because yeah, you're right. He's learning some things. There's some skills you can learn from that. But now, he's got his tablet and his phone, and he's doing what everybody else is doing those little shorts on the phone, and not so his
Yeah,
attention
those are.
span. That's an attention span killer. That's
Yeah, unless you're making money off it, doing them and making money off of it. But I'll
right.
tell you what, my son, was such a gamer, he met his now wife
Oh yeah.
off of being on Twitch. He had a Twitch account, people would watch him play,
Mm,
and that's how
I've
he
heard,
met
yeah.
her, and then they moved in, they lived together for 4 or 5 years, and they just got married and bought a house.
Well, I had a friend that she got on was it TikTok during COVID when COVID fired up and TikTok was just firing up. She got on TikTok just because everybody was stuck at home. Started doing
Mhm.
those little videos, met somebody on TikTok, and yeah, they're married
How
now.
can you meet somebody on TikTok?
Just seeing their videos, and they started chatting back and forth. Were liking each other's videos or whatever, and yeah, I don't know how they met on TikTok and they're married, and it's they've been a great couple. They're perfect for each other.
I
So
guess if you're meant to find somebody, you'll find them no matter what.
yeah, exactly. I think
Yeah.
that is the case because yeah, you go out there and you're always searching. I have a friend that wants me to go to her daughter's wedding with her in April. She
Mhm.
asked. I think it was over the summer. She called up and asked, "Hey, would you go with me?" I said, "Yeah, sure." I'm not going to be dating her. I don't have any plans to be dating by that time anyway. So yeah, I'll go with you. And I'm like, well, what's
Mhm.
going on? Because she's always one that's has a relationship. And well, I'm like, well, you're always looking for a relationship. That's why you're always kind of in that boat. You're looking for this to make you feel okay, and really, you don't need that to make you feel okay. You got to
I
learn
just
to
got
feel
out
okay.
of a 5.5 year one, and I'm taking a hiatus, and I'm kinda like, I guess that what does that word mean anyway? I mean, I think I used it right.
It just means yeah, you're taking a break.
Right.
Nothing wrong
And
with that.
then, just trying to I mean, at our age, it's like you gotta be like, "Okay, what am I doing wrong here?" I mean, I married my high school sweetheart, and that's where my children came from, you know? Um, so, I mean, I know exactly what went wrong. I know exactly, I mean, and you're young, when you're young like that, you don't know. Um, but it's like, I mean, I feel like the whole purpose of life it's like learning, and I'm just at the point now where I'm like, okay, there's something I'm missing here. I'm not doing it right. Something, you know what I mean?
I know exactly what well, yeah, I've been after my son's mother, uh, I dated for a little while and then was dating younger women and just, picker my bad picker, but I didn't really ever pick them. It's usually
Mhm.
whatever, they start flirting with me, I'm like, "Okay, whatever," and, but just not good thing. The last one I dated, she was younger, but she got killed. She got drunk and went to the Houston rodeo cook-off and left the cook-off and running across the freeway drunk, got hit by a car. It's just like, yeah, exactly. So it's like I haven't dated since that one, but
Oh my gosh.
we weren't really heavy into dating then either. I wasn't really dating anyone else at that time just because of my son's mother. My son's mother is the one that really just I was like, and then I met the one that got killed, and it was just like after that, I was like, I don't really need to date. I just need to focus on my son, because I don't want to be bringing people in and out of his life. I want
Yeah.
stability, so it's if he's meeting dad, he doesn't need to go through all that. So I figured I'll wait or whatever. If the Lord finds a need for me to have a woman in my life, then He will put a woman in my life. Otherwise, I just need to work and worry about him.
Yeah. I just made a promise to myself I'm not gonna get in another relationship again unless I really know for sure. I mean, it's like
Oh, man,
quality. It's
yeah,
like it's gotta be super high quality. I mean, if
yeah.
not, I'm fine with
I'm cool with me.
having cats.
I am so cool with hanging out with myself. I don't, hey, there's some lonely times, no big deal. We all go through it, even when you got somebody. So, but I am so okay with hanging out with me. I don't have to have someone around 24/7.
Yeah,
I'm okay, you know.
right.
So the only one I think I would really, if would be my son. If that one went away, I wouldn't know how to act.
If
You know,
what? If
if
you're
my son, if anything happened to my son, or 'cause
oh,
when he goes to move away, that's gonna be weird for me because he's been my whole life, for so the whole time it's just like
mhm.
working him, and now sub two, but still he's sub two is still kind of on the back burner to him and mom.
I'm looking for property in North Carolina. I'm gonna get the heck out of here.
North Carolina, huh? What
Yeah.
what what draws you to North Carolina?
Totally over Baltimore and Maryland. Like, I want out.
Well, you got them crazy. First off, it's too freaking cold.
Right?
Then
The
then you're too
water's
then
disgusting.
you're
The
too
people are
close to
mean and angry.
right. Everybody up there
But what kept me here for the longest time were my kids, and they, of course, my oldest one lives in Oregon now, and my son is in Ohio, and the middle one is still here. And, I kind of didn't really want to leave her, but it's just time. I just gotta, I just can't. She even told me, she's like, you need to live your life. Don't let, me keep you here. She's like, and she's real close to her grandparents. And she's like, soon as they're gone, I'm out too.
right?
I'm like, okay, I'll
Yeah,
go
you
get a place. You call me when that happens.
so what draws you to North Carolina? Why North Carolina? I lost your sound.
Sorry, I accidentally hit this mute button. It's so touch sensitive. It's
Oh,
ridiculous.
man. You freaked me out there for a second.
Yeah, see, it's like, you see this?
Oh, okay, yep. And
See how
yeah, you're touching it and it's going in and out.
yeah,
Oh,
it's
there you
it's
go. Alright.
it's good now. I mean, you can't really see the colors that good on there, but it's green on and red off. And it's like I'll just go try to adjust my mic and accidentally touch it and it's off. It's like
Okay.
super sensitive. But thanks for letting me know.
No problem. I was like, what are you, huh?
Yeah. Um, where was I?
You were saying something about your daughter, and then we got sidetracked.
Oh, why am I drawn to North Carolina?
Yes. Why? Yeah.
So my whole life I've been saying I wanted to live in Florida. And I went there when I was like 9 and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I love it." First time I ever saw palm trees and I've always loved the heat and the sun. I like it hot. I've always got cold easy, right?
Right.
Still do. Even at my age, I still get cold easy.
Well, then
But
you'd like.
anyway, so I like it hot. Yeah. The cold makes me angry, literally. Um
Yeah. I can imagine.
Yeah, I mean, it tenses you up and you're just like, "Argh," it's like, "Oh, I hate it." But, so I almost did move down there in 2022 before I joined Sub 2. I mean, I had, like, I had a pods reserved and I was going, right? And then one of my close lender friends was like, listen, because he's living down there. He's been going back and forth. And he's like, I think you need to take a trip down here during the summertime before you just commit and move here. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, but I've been there before. He's like, trust me, just do it. So I did. And I went down. I took my sister. We went down to, I was looking at the Cape Coral, Fort Myers area.
Mm-hmm.
And my sister and I went down there and in June, and I had a pods reserved and everything. And while I was down there, I was like, "Oh, this is a lot hotter than I remember." Well, I don't know. Ooh, I mean, it was just so different than I remembered. So anyway, I got back and canceled everything, and I'm like, "All right, let me just reassess." Um, Had I went through with those plans, I would have arrived days before the hurricane went off course and hit right where I was going.
Ooh. So,
Yeah, remember that? It just,
yeah.
like, tore Fort Myers and Cape
Hmm.
Coral apart, like
Well, that's what you have to worry about in the southern region is hurricanes and bad storms. So
yeah.
tornadoes and hurricanes.
And then a
So
lot of my friends that have moved out of state, they either went to Florida or North Carolina. So then once I canceled the Florida plans, I was like, "You know what? Let me look at North Carolina. Let me take a good hard look." And I'd been there a few times myself. So,
mhm.
I
I hate
just ever since then, I just been focused on that, and some things have happened recently and I'm like, "Yeah, it's time to just really just make the move and go hard." So, I'm working, and then at the same time, I'm also looking for a home around there.
that
So
keep
that
work.
was on my goals list as well,
Yes.
acquire my next home creatively
Mhm.
and move to
That's what I wanna
my
do, and I'm thinking about the Fannie Mae one and, if I can find creative because I'm learning create or, the multifamily with the Mud team anyway, KJ Mud, I got on their team.
mhm.
So, I'm gonna focus on that team for the next 3 months, and then we'll see from there, but, yeah, my goal is, yeah, I
AJ
wanna buy
Mud team?
KJ Muds or KJ Mud, it was the multifamily or it's the $1,000,000 Upside, but they're one of, Pace's first students.
Oh,
He
okay.
talks about, yeah, John or Joseph and KJ Mudd a lot. They're here in Houston. Michael Hayes, the other guy I worked with, he was also one of Pace's first ones here in Houston. So I like Michael Hayes. He's great. He's given me a hell of an opportunity. It's just not. I'm
And
not
that's your
cold
buddy
call.
that you grew up with, right?
Yeah, I'm just sick of cold calling. I
Yeah,
tried
I'm
doing
sorry. I
the
had
foreclosures. I tried doing that. It's just like, man, and I took a little break, and it's like I'm more I think about it. It's like I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to cold call anymore. I think about it. It's like I got to do this stuff at home that night with my family, and it's stressing me out. So I got to.
Yeah, it's like it's not made for everybody. It's like I mean,
Yeah, I
I'm
got.
good at jumping on calls and answering questions or like, if somebody's like, "Hey, I can't." I mean, I'm good at closing. I hate the cold calling. I absolutely hate it.
Well, see, I don't know. I don't even know about closing. And I had another guy. He's like, "Well, have you tried any other things on any other teams?" And no, I haven't. The only opportunities I've had on any teams is cold calling. So I don't know what else I could possibly be good at yet. I guess I'm still searching for my place in the real estate industry. So
You know what I say that we have in common here? You love this.
what?
Podcasting, the
I
whole
do. I do
online
like that. I do
I
like.
do too.
So
Like, I totally would do this all day, every day.
I could do it. Yeah, I could do a couple interviews a day. I wouldn't have any problem with it. I was trying
Right?
to get the guys around here because poor Pace has pushed everybody. You got to make a personal brand online. It's kind of important. Start a podcast. Do this.
Uh-huh.
So one of my ideas is I want to. You got a lot of guys here doing it. They had started them and didn't maintain them. And it's like, look, guys, I want to help you guys do this. I just got to find a way to make a living doing it.
But see, there's a handful of us like you and I who
Hmm.
absolutely love doing this. I could do this all day, every this is all I if I had my choice, this is all I would do.
Yeah.
Like, the real estate is gonna be the means for this, you know? I
Yeah, it's
mean,
like, how am I gonna be a closer? I gotta get it on my podcast. I gotta get all the closing on my podcast, and I'd be the master closer. No one would be able to beat us if we could do it all right here on a podcast.
oh my god, you know what? That reminds me, Pace was saying, like, on one of the Zooms I was on recently, he was talking about someone who, joined his community way back in the beginning, and what she would do is she would do, like, live streams where
Mhm.
she would make her calls.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of people that do that out there. You got RJ
Yeah.
Bates, you got all sorts of guys that are doing that, and it's like, well, hey, I should do. And Oscar, we got a guy here in Houston, Oscar Solis. He got RJ Bates on his podcast, and I was like, well, how'd you do that? And he's like, well, I kind of, he didn't tell me the value he created for him to get on to the podcast, but he's like, also when he got him on the podcast, he actually had leads for him to call. I was like, no shit. That's an idea. You get someone
Mm.
that's a creative, a closer like that, and you got leads for him to call and close on your
I
podcast.
mean, I can close,
Right.
but here's where I get stuck, and I hate it. Like, the triple dial thing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I literally had somebody cuss me out the other day, and I'm like, "You know what? I'm not doing this." Like, I and I was trying to explain to the person, I'm like, "Look, I'm, like, up here with stress right now, and I do not wanna be going off on people." And I know it's not personal. It's like, that's one of the biggest problems that I feel like a lot of people have, you
I
know?
think so too, and I don't I was sitting in my mom's doc or I was had to take my mom to the doctor, so I was doing cold calls in there, and I'm like, "I don't care, I'm just gonna do it." It bothers me. I'm afraid they're gonna and that's the thing. I'm afraid. I'm afraid they're gonna
And that's
answer
what he was
angry, and it's gonna fuck it up, and you know what? It's not. 'Cause they're gonna at least they answer, and once you get the
yeah.
answer, then you can say, "Hey, oh, sorry, I either butt dialed you again, I wasn't meaning to I was gonna leave a message," make up some kind of mistake, like, "Oh, hey, I didn't mean to dial you again, sorry," or, "Yeah, I was, because I really would like to talk to you about your property, but if you're not willing to talk now, is there a time that" something, you get your foot in the door, it's a foot in the door.
Pace went on about that at some length because apparently there is a vast majority of new people who continuously run into the same exact problem.
They're not doing it. Most people aren't. I guarantee you, most people are not. At Power Hour, I don't think anybody's doing. They tell them triple dial. But I understand their fear. You're going to get someone pissed off on the line cussing at you. So what?
I mean, that's not what I'm afraid of. I'm not afraid of somebody cussing at me. I'm afraid of letting Miss Baltimore out once they do. That's what I'm afraid.
Well, again, so
She'll
what?
she'll bust through the gates, and I'll be like, "Oh man."
But the quicker you get to talk to somebody, see, and here's the thing: is the quicker you get to talk to somebody and weed them out, the better. I think because
Yeah.
that's why I think you want to triple dial and just get them off the list. You don't want to have it sitting there on the list. And
Maybe
these other
we could
people,
do that. Maybe we could do, like, live streams
well, we
making
need
calls.
to. I think that's what I'm hoping you'll do if with the direct to agent that you'll call
Yeah.
agents, so we can get on and call agents and learn that you'll instruct us on how to talk to agents. So that's the big
Myron
thing.
Riley had a, like, oh, this was, like, a couple months ago at least, a few months ago. Maybe 3 or 4 months ago, who knows? He had, like, a all-day thing where people could hop on his YouTube channel. This is before I had a YouTube channel, but he had a thing where people could hop on his YouTube channel and make calls. It was him and Jade was her name.
Mhm.
I went on her podcast. I don't think she came on mine, but, and I did that. I went on there and so if you go on, Myron's YouTube channel and find that, you'll see me on there talking to an agent.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. That was really cool. I had a really cool, really good conversation with him and everything. Made a
See,
friend
I wanna
and
connect you with an
didn't
agent.
end up getting that house, but
I wanna connect you with an agent here. Her name, it's a friend of mine named Becca. she's not actively selling. What she does is teaches other real estate agents for, I think it's Keller Williams. She is the
Uh-huh.
onboarding for new real estate agents, brings them in, starts training them,
Yeah,
stuff.
Keller Williams does do that. They do a lot of,
Yeah,
um
but in talking with her, it's like, hey, are you aware of creative financing? Are you aware of sub two? And she is. And so it was like, okay, well, hey, don't train your people that it's illegal or a scam. And oh no,
yeah, because it's not.
yeah. I was like, please don't be doing that. You're hurting.
Yeah,
So but she's the one I wanted to get her involved kind of into it too, because she's an agent and she trains new agents. So I think it'd be great
yeah,
for y'all to connect and her to have a good investor to talk with about investing things.
yeah, she could be what's called a unicorn agent.
Could be. Could be. I need to
Mhm.
talk to her more. She's always busy and running around. She's got 3 girls, and she's a
Oh,
single
wow.
deadbeat dad, single parent,
Uh,
but
so
she's
what about your son's mom? I mean, if I sometimes I forget we're on a
mm,
podcast. I'm sorry.
oh,
I'm like, we're just sitting here talking. I'm like, hello, we're online. This is
son's mom is married. She has a daughter. Well, actually, they're probably going to be getting divorced. She just went through a bunch of stuff at Christmas time, so right before
mm,
Christmas. So she's something else. I just I didn't have a good picker. Let's put it that way.
mm,
I got a
that's not
great son. I just didn't, I love my son. I love his half brother too. He's like my son. He still calls me dad. I love
aw.
him. Miss him. I wish he lived here with me. And my boys are my world. They're, every summer I get to go travel with them, and those are my best memories all year round. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Too bad you didn't have a daughter. It's
yeah.
always good to have at least one of each gender.
I guess I don't know. I didn't get the opportunity. Son's mother wanted a daughter, but we were going through way too much, and I was like, if things can work out, then yeah, I would consider it. But it wasn't even heading that direction. So she got with somebody else and ended up having the daughter. She always wanted.
Yeah, so being a parent is also just as much for you as it is for them.
Yeah.
It's everything coming full circle. You get to see
Well, my
your
life is just it's I don't know. I feel like last when I it's been since he was about 2, so probably about 8 years, 9 years. I put everything on hold. It was like, this is all I'm doing, taking care of him
Mhm.
and mom and trying to get on my feet. And, certain things happen each year. Something happens, so it's just like something's got to give.
Yeah.
So his
Yeah.
stuff gets more expensive, breaks a collarbone. We have a major medical expense. I end up in the hospital last year. I had a motorcycle accident one year. We just every year it's something. This year we're not going to have any
Boys
bad.
are rough.
Yeah.
My
Well,
girls are so careful. My son was getting hurt every single every we called Sunday his injury day. We're
oh
like,
yeah.
"All right, what's gonna happen today, Justin? What's
See, and he's only see. I'm getting worried because he's only 10. He had a broken collarbone. His worst injury. He's had a couple bike wrecks. Not too bad. Nothing. And I'm like, man, we're due. We're due for something. you
I
know.
think, none of my children have ever had a broken bone,
Hmm.
and neither have I.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. Because that's usually, I mean, especially with boys, it's just kind of a you expect
Well, let
it.
me tell you, he had a lot of injuries. He never broke a freaking bone. As a matter of fact, he's hardly ever been sick. Wonder if he's like that Bruce Willis guy in Unbreakable.
See, now my son has
And he did freaking parkour.
no shit, and he hasn't been
Yes,
hurt.
he did parkour. He
Oh
would, like, scare the crap out of me. He would send me pictures, and I'm like, "Justin, Michael, get down from there," you know?
no.
And he still never broke a bone, and, he even there was, like, this parkour gym. They had a car inside there, they had the bars, they had the all the, like, big block like, they would take, like, field trips to different, like, cityscapes and stuff and just parkour all over the place, and
Yeah. That's it's just it's amazing that then yeah he's doing all that not getting hurt. Caden, my son wanted to. He kind of looks at that stuff too, but now he's not. He's not so active, so I don't have to. I don't think I have to worry about that. He's more in the
He's not really
game.
doing it as much anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, when he was younger, he was all into that.
So right now, my son, what he does is he's trying to dress just like me. He gets the same types of clothes,
Aw.
and then I have tattoos, and he keeps saying he wants this. I think it's this tattoo on my hand here. The
Oh, what is that? What's
the
that about?
it's the saint. I
It's the
don't
what?
remember the TV show from the '60s called The Saint. It's just a little stick.
No, I was born in '71. I don't care if people know how old I am. But oh, when were you born?
71. I
All
was born
right,
in
that's right.
71.
We went through that, right? Yeah. We're the
Yeah,
same
so but I knew that TV was it's like it was on a rerun back in the day, and then there was a movie in the '90s with Val Kilmer and I forget who else was in it called The Saint. And that's where I saw that for the first time, and
Oh,
I
I
liked it,
vaguely remember that.
and yeah, got
Wait a minute. Was that about Cold Fusion or something like that? That one girl was in it?
it
Or
it
do
might
I
have
have the
been.
wrong one?
I don't know. I don't know. It's been a long time ago, but I just like that. I remember that stick figure. I saw it and I got it. And so my son was like, I want that tattoo. But I was like, hey, I'm dad's getting ready to get that covered. I was gonna get my whole hand done.
Mm. So, I really don't have I have one tattoo, and it's really tiny on my ankle, and it took a lot for me to get that done because I just
And they're not for everybody. I'll say
they're
that.
not and I mean, as rough around the edges as I can be, I'm, too girly for all those tattoos, I feel
I don't
like.
know. I wanted to be a
I
rock
don't
star
know.
when I was young. So
Yeah.
I don't
I
remember when I got my infatuation for tattoos. It was really young. And I felt
I think
strong.
it had to do with the forever part of it. I was like, "You get a tattoo, it's on there forever,"
Right,
like
well, I think that was the appealing part because it's like you can't ever take it off, and if you get something really my mom would be like, "Everybody always regrets it," and oh,
right.
it was funny. I got my first one, and I got my first one actually at 15 and my second one at 17, and I was able to I hit them. Well, the first one for almost 3 years. So, and then the second one, she saw I got out of the shower, and she saw me without a shirt on and saw it when I was almost 18. So
Mm.
then she would give me
I
hell.
think I would get a tattoo if they started coming up with, like, sparkly ones, but as long as they're just, like, ink, I'm like, "Eh."
Well, they do have sparkly. They have all sorts of you got glow in the dark
Like,
ink.
sparkly, like, glitter, like
Well, you got ones now with the glow in the dark ink that that you could put a certain light over it and it'll sparkle, it'll come to
but
life.
what about when there's not a light on it?
Then it just looks like a normal tattoo.
Yeah, well,
So you always have to have a light on it. You'd always have to have your arm on display under a light
right, right.
or carry around a spotlight with you over so your tattoos are spark.
I do piercings, though, not a lot. I mean, I got this
Oh, you got a
little
bunch of holes in your head?
no, I just have one right now,
Okay. How many
but
earrings do you have though?
it's a little diamond, like, I
Okay.
can't have like, I don't want them, like,
You're not gonna get your
tattoo type piercings.
you're not gonna
No,
get
no,
your
no.
lips. No. How many
No, but at one point, I had this I had them all done at the same time. I had this done, I had my eyebrow done, and then my belly button, but I don't actually have a belly button. So, it
you don't
didn't
have a belly
stay.
button?
I don't have a belly button.
Well, did you have an Audi or something? You just got a weird and it's just nowhere to
I'm an alien.
you're an alien, you're absolutely no there's no even
No,
nothing there, it's just
I literally do not have a belly button. No,
nothing.
honestly, what happened was, when I was 6, weeks old, I had an umbilical hernia, and I had to have an operation.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So they just
So,
flattened it out and made it
yeah, there's just, like, a little
a little
scar right
indent.
there.
Okay, that's weird. No,
Weird. I
I
don't
had an
feel like
urn
that's what would happen nowadays if
no.
a child got that, but
No, I had a belly button hernia, and they replaced it with mesh, but I still have my belly button. It's like they reformed it, and they put a marble in there while it was healing,
What?
so it would still have that little indent like like my belly button was. And I was like, I
Oh,
don't.
wow. So
Yeah.
I was a newborn. I
Oh,
didn't have a belly button to start with. Do you know
okay.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was still the umbilical cord piece thing. I mean, I was 6 weeks old.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, you just have a scar then. Just a scar
Yes,
there, huh?
I never even ever had one, right?
Mm. All
So,
right. So your goals, you're gonna buy a house in North Carolina.
North
What other
Carolina.
what other goals you got for sub 2? You had
Well,
you had 50 friends, you were gonna make 50 friends, right? 50 new
50
friends.
more friends. I got a lot of friends. I'm super
How
sociable.
do you maintain all these friends? That's the one
It's a
thing.
little like, I put in part I said, "Build 50 new relationships, 50 or more new relationships, and nurture existing ones."
I think I wanna nurture the existing ones because building I mean, it's easy to meet new people and add people to the
Where ought it
list.
be up?
I had to make the list of 50 to get into Sub-Zero, and I can't say that I know these, I wanna nurture
Right.
more certain relationships. I wanna nurture the relationships that for the business. I want right now, it's like I
See, I
wanna build.
think when you're making your calls,
Yeah.
maybe once a week, you should make 10 of those calls once a week to touching base again with your network.
With a Sub-2 student that you touched base. That's a good idea. Yeah, actually.
Mhm.
So, we need to do more this year. I need to do more,
Or even every
accountability.
day.
I need to do
If
an
you're
accountability.
doing 30
Yeah.
cold calls, do 3 to 5 networking phone calls.
Right? You should.
Mhm.
Why don't we like talking to other people? What's the problem?
I love talking to people.
I do, sometimes I don't. The phone and even it's this is the heaviest thing in the world when it really comes down to it.
Right, that's what he
Like,
was saying on the Zoom over and over.
man, I can talk to people in regular conversations when they come into a store, but when that phone like, I work in sales, and when the phone rings, it's like, "Oh, shit, I don't wanna deal with this right now." I don't know why that is, and that's my moneymaker, even in my day job.
Mhm.
It's like I gotta talk to people on the phone, but the phone rings, it's like, man, I really, I don't know
It
if
is
it's
a day job if you wanna say
I
that on
sell
here.
I sell enterprise drones.
Oh, that's right, you told me
Yeah.
that before.
So, and it started out, I loved it, but it's just, certain things happen, and it's gotten like that on the phone. It's just, I don't wanna answer the phone anymore.
Right, I know.
Some of them, most of our business right now, I think that most of the calls call in for repair, so it's really kinda, "Hey, we do some repair, but it's like, hey, you should send it to back to the manufacturer, DJI, that's what we recommend, because they get a new drone out
Mhm.
of it." But you got these people that are very difficult that are just like, "Hey, no, I wanna bring it to you," well.
Right, because they want the easiest
Well, they
way
think that
possible.
if they bring it to us, we'll be able to do it quicker, and if they stay on our ass, we'll be able to do it even quicker. It's like, "Hey, look, they have the parts, we don't keep parts in stock." I try to explain to them, "We don't keep parts in stock for repairs. So, we're just
Right, right.
not a repair center, that's not our business.
Mhm.
So, you'll be waiting, 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 or you can send it to DJI, they'll say, 'Hey, it costs this much to fix it,' and they'll send them a new drone." Usually 99% of the time, they get a new drone, not a repaired drone.
And
But
these are just, like, any kind of drones or, like, a specific
mostly they're your Mavic 3 brands, for from DJI.
taking
They're used
pictures
for
and videos
all
or
sorts of stuff. They'll range from, consumer drones are from the Mavic, or the little, minis. They're called Mini Pros, and they got Mini 3 and 4s out now. And then you got all the way up to bigger drones that'll carry. interchangeable payloads, different types of cameras and sensors you can put on the drone. We
None that are delivering packages yet, right? Remember
no,
when
we're not.
Amazon said they were gonna
Well,
do it?
there are drones out there, but we don't sell those. We sell agricultural drones and the bigger drones for interchangeable payloads, so people can do different types of inspections of power lines, roofs. Um, we have we have a specialized camera that we sell. It's called an OGI, optical gas detect. It detects gas leaks. So that's
Mhm.
our bread and butter thing for our company, but it's a slow sale, and our company or the owner of the company and the sales manager are trying to treat it like it's something you should be able to push out the door like a drone, like a consumer drone, and it's not. It's $120,000 camera, and granted, your oil and gas companies, they can afford this, no problem. They don't buy like that. It's a
Mm.
process. It goes through a process, and first you talk to them about it, and then they want a demo, and all this stuff. So it's a big ordeal, and our company's not really set up right to do it. I don't believe. Um, we're
Gotcha.
making progress, but it's just like the since we're not set up right, we're not getting paid commissions when we do sell them. So I've told the owner a couple times, "Hey, when you don't pay the commissions, you take away all my incentives to sell and to grow your business. I have no incentive to.
Right.
I have no incentive to. I'll come here and sit here." And that's what I've been doing here since Christmas. Actually, since before Christmas, I go in there and I started doing cold calls, and I'll be from like 9 to 11. I was cold calling, and that's usually when the owner and the sales manager come in and they're walking by and they're looking at me like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And then
Mhm.
he's in multiple businesses, so they pulled me back in the warehouse and stuck me back there. It's like, okay, so yeah, I got to find something else.
Yeah, well, you kinda did. You just need to get it to a
Yeah.
point where it can replace. Because I mean, you're right at the verge of breaking through some stuff. I actually got, Think Media, um, you know how they have all these sales for Christmas and stuff like that? I
Mhm.
got a Think Media program, you know who that is, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I got one of those programs that I just started the other day.
I don't want to ask you how much did you pay. Come on, let me know. Come on, come on. No, you ain't gotta say nothing. I'm just, but I do want to
Not a
ask.
lot.
I thought about those Think Media, not a lot.
Not a lot at
Yeah, I thought
all.
about those. There was
Mm-mm.
another one I thought about doing just to help try and promote views because I'm not really caring about being perfect on screen. I'd rather be more
Let
authentic
me
than
tell you, I've been through one video so far, and wow, already.
really.
Yes.
They have a lot of good stuff just on the free stuff. So that's where I decided what camera to use and certain things, how to get a blurred background and what
Mhm.
lens I needed
Mhm.
for the camera. So those are the ones, yeah. Think media is
I
one
have so many ideas. I'm telling you, I can't wait to get this team started because this is what I love. This is
I like
I
doing it
was
too, but
gonna
it's like,
do
how do
this
we turn
before I found Sub 2,
I wanna
you
figure out
know?
how to turn the podcast into making that's where I gotta figure out how to turn the podcast into an income, and I'm struggling with that.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, I gotta get away from my W-2. It's not a positive place to be,
Mm.
because they don't pay the commission. The other salesman, one of the salesmen's already quit. The other one's always bitching, and then the sales manager, he's just never there. He don't give a shit about nothing. I get
Mhm.
sales, I'll get things sold that we don't have in stock and tell him, "Okay, you got this sold. You need to get it ordered." Does he order it? Nope. Doesn't happen. So, and then
Right.
customers calling me a couple
So
later,
so
"Hey,
you
where's
have
my
to do your
order?"
job when the
Yeah.
owner isn't giving you what you need to do your job.
Right. So I'm waiting for kind of things to hit the fan. I've already told the owner once, "Hey man, this doesn't work." He saw me in there one day. I was going over all my commissions, and I'm like, "This, you're not in a good position." I said,
Mhm.
"You're not paying your commissions, and you're not giving me any incentive to sell." Oh, we're gonna. And he tried to have all these excuses. I don't really care. It's just like, dude, a check will fix everything.
Right.
A regular
Yeah.
payment schedule for commission will fix everything. But
Mhm.
they don't want
And
to
you're
hear.
not even telling him how much. I mean, he can
Well, I mean, I haven't been making that much because I told him, I said, "You wanna know," he asked, they had asked a couple times, "Your numbers really dropped," and I said, "Well, yeah, I'm not gonna let you get into debt with me. I'm not gonna go raking up a bunch of commission when you're not paying it.
Mhm.
Why would I do that?
Yeah.
That's just gonna piss me off and leave me in a bad mood, and then I'll end up quitting and not have my benefits I need for my son, so I can't really do that right this second."
Yeah.
Oh, that's the situation there. But yeah, I mean, I'm planning on going soon. I told him before because they're Chinese, okay? He has multiple businesses, and this whole Christmas season he's been doing another business out of the warehouse, where they're getting all these boxes in from China. Okay, and the boxes are filled with prepackaged items from Temu. You know what Temu is? Or it's like another Alibaba.
Yeah,
Okay,
Timu or what
yeah.
yeah. Is that I don't even
So,
know how to say
yeah,
it.
so they got all this shit coming in from Temu that's prepackaged to go for gifts, I guess, to the US Post Office. What I'm wondering is how do you guys get it all the US Post Office stuff over there in China? Because it comes in from China, and then we got to take it to the post office and dump it off in these boxes, or dump it off at the post office. And the post office, most of them are only going to let you do a few boxes. They're overloaded, especially during the Christmas season.
Mhm.
So we're having to run around all day, and he had me doing that a couple days, and I told him, hey, this really is not. This is not something I signed up for at all. I
Well, remember when the economy was really good, like, about almost
Yeah,
4 years ago or more? Remember that? And the post office was overloaded?
right.
What what the problems that we have now, don't you wanna just, like, trade them back? Like
Oh god, so I just told this guy, I'm not doing I didn't si I'm a sales guy. I'm not your warehouse shipping guy. Get somebody
yeah.
else. I told he's got a tech that works with us, the only other Chinese guy in there, and I told the tech because I know the tech goes back and talks to him all the time. I told the tech, "I'm really considering not showing up after the first of the year." Because I did not
Oh.
sign up for this stuff. I didn't sign up for warehouse work. I left.
Yeah, but, like, do you have something to replace it? Like, are you gonna be a
No.
right.
I have other skills, and then I think but I don't have any following with them. I used to tattoo, so I could get back into tattooing, but I really don't have anybody I could just start working on right away, and I don't wanna really
Mhm.
go back to doing that, I don't think, so
That my advice to you would be just really ramp up this sub 2,
that's
and
what I
then
gotta do, and
boom.
yeah, I gotta
Yeah, and then you can just let this job drop.
well,
Make your focus on sub
that's
2.
where I've been stuck, and I talked with Josh. You're gonna meet Josh. We gotta have a Zoom with all them, but that's where I get
Mhm,
stuck. It's like, okay, I keep thinking I need to go back to doing some wholesaling. I need to do some wholesaling to make some money. So it's like, no, I need to figure out a different way in to where the income will start coming in. I don't need to have replace the income right away. It would be nice, but
mhm.
I need something. I need to start building something. So
Right.
got to figure it out.
Yes. I agree. I'm in the same boat,
Yeah.
kinda.
Hmm.
Yeah, don't do that W-2 thing, but, like, yeah.
Yeah, the W-2 sucks. It's fully in
It
the way
really does. I'm like
it's like, Pace says, "Hey, if it's not serving the purpose," and mine is not serving the purpose. I don't make enough. If without the commission, when it doesn't pay a commission, it's like, man, I just been sinking since I started that job. I kind of been kicking myself in the ass about leaving. I worked at this company called Grunfus. It's right here. Yeah.
oh, okay,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
there for 8 years. It's a water pump company and just poorly
Mhm,
managed, but it was great benefits and the pay was okay, but it's just like I for almost 10 years doing 10 and 12-hour days, 6, 7 days a week, got old.
mhm.
Got real miserable, and then I got into the drone thing thinking, "Okay, yeah, I'll be happy broke."
Right,
I
yeah.
I knew it was half my pay right off the bat when I found this job.
Oh.
I was like, it was half of what I made, and I was like really debating, but I was really miserable where I was at. So it's like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go do it. And then when I got into And then it was shortly after I took the drone sales job that I found out my buddy Michael was sub two. Almost no,
Mhm.
about 4 or 5 months, and then I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna do this, and this will work out, and everything will work out. And so far, I'm still struggling, but it'll work out.
I have so many ideas, so many ideas.
I do too. I got a lot of ideas. I got a lot of ideas with this podcast and the locals. I want to help the local
Mhm.
guys out here doing theirs, and but I got to figure out a way to how can we partner up and
I wanna do what Carly's doing, but,
Carl.
Carly one of the things that Carly does is she acquires RVs with creative finance,
Okay,
subject to, and then she rents them out.
just rents out RV. I rented an RV last summer, and then I thought about doing that, but
Mhm.
my thing, my only concern there is the wear and tear on them because they tear up easy.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like you make so much money off of it. It totally if
Hmm,
there's like wear and tear on it, you'll have the money to take care of
it
it.
covers it.
And then there's insurance and this and that. Like it's so weird. Like so many of the ideas that I so many of the things that are being done in sub 2, I mean, are things that I had ideas for already. Like, one of the reasons my last relationship ended is because he didn't wanna do anything. I
What do you
was, like,
mean?
constantly coming up with ideas.
He
I'm
wasn't
like,
like
he has
dating
these 2
wise.
apartments that he rents out. I'm like, "Dude."
Oh,
Yeah, and this one guy's been paying the same amount of rent for, like, 10 years. I'm like, "Dude, you could be Airbnb-ing these out back when, Airbnbs were doing really, really well. I'm
mhm.
like, you can make so much more money. I had the idea for the RV thing. I wanted to, flip some RVs. He's a mechanic. I'm like, dude, you should be doing a YouTube channel, like showing people how to do stuff, fixing cars. You'd be making money double time. You'd be making money while you're fixing, and then you'd be making money off of YouTube. And then I'm like, and I told him about the Toro thing. I'm like, "Oh my god, dude, you could, like, buy cars, like, from the auction, fix them up, and then sell them, or you could, like, put them on Turo and rent them out," and
Yep. A lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff to do, and it's just like, man,
I was just like, I don't know. It's like not he didn't wanna do anything, and he
nothing.
didn't wanna do anything about anything. Didn't
No,
wanna do anything about us, didn't wanna do anything about making he's just a nice guy, but he's one of those people that's just stagnant. Refuses to make any changes or do anything different than he's done for the past 50 years or whatever, you know what I mean?
well, I mean, you get stuck. There's that saying, "Can't teach an old dog new tricks." I mean,
You can if the dog is willing to.
yeah, but most of your old dogs aren't even willing. That's the problem. They're not willing. They're too, the comfort thing. There's the comfort thing. I know, that's if you get comfortable, I can see where it's real easy to just stay where you're at. And then,
Yeah. I don't wanna tell too much, but I was just like, I can't. You can stay here. I'm moving.
right? Well, hey, it's
I'm
if that's the
I'm
way people,
doing stuff.
you can't stay, yeah, it's time for me to move on. We're not on the same page. We're not on the same, so that's
Yeah.
I haven't met anybody I'm on the same page with. So, and dating wise, it's like I haven't even. When was the last date I went on? Can't even remember. It's like, what's the
Yeah.
because I don't meet. It's like people dating are looking to do other things. I'm looking to start a business. I want to do this. I want to do that.
Right.
Dating is not my concern.
So
So
much hard. I mean, it is when we're younger, but when we get this age, it's like not only are the pickings super slim compared to what they were when we were younger, but also you have so much more necessary criteria to match up and this and that.
exactly, and if you're busy, and if you got a busy life, you really have to the person, whoever you meet, has to be very understanding. Especially we're trying to start businesses. We're gonna be busy. We're gonna be talking to a lot of other people. If you got a jealous, insecure person, it's not gonna fucking work. They're not
Yeah.
gonna They're
Well,
will deal with it.
I mean, that's like a level 1 relationship issue, jealousy, because
Well, yeah,
all jealousy is insecurity on the person's part that's jealous, or it means that if they've already messed up and gave 'em a reason to be jealous, well, you probably shouldn't be with them then.
exactly. But it's I don't know. That's one thing that it's like people get. I'm going to talk to people. I was a musician for many years, so it's like I've had a lot of jealous, and it's like, well, you got all these
Oh,
girls.
would you play?
Guitar. I play guitar.
Oh, okay. Bass or lead or what?
Lead and rhythm. Yeah, I went to music school. I took off after high school. Went to Musicians Institute in Hollywood, California, and all that. So
Oh, wow.
I played in cover bands up until I played music for a living up until 90. I think in 1999 I got my first job outside of music.
Oh, wow.
So, and then
Wow.
yeah,
I would like you to play something on a podcast.
we'll see. I'm rusty now. I put it down. It was when was it? My last band broke up. I think it was in 2017, 2018. So I called
Oh,
it quit.
okay.
Just called it quits.
So my girlfriend's house that we had a nice little it was just like less than 10 of us, just New Year's Eve. And I actually helped her buy that house as a realtor. But she's a singer and
Oh
she
yeah.
sings in bands. And
Hmm.
she's actually getting another band together. She's took a little break for a little while, but you ought to hear. As a matter of fact, if you go on my Instagram,
Mhm.
you'll see a video with her singing.
Oh, I'll have to check it out. Yeah,
It's like
I put
you
a
have a lot.
post this morning. It's like, this year I'd like to form another band and do some gigs and start gigging again because I was happy doing that when I was playing gigs.
Yeah, it's fun. It's
Yeah.
fun. Doesn't make enough money though, right? I
No,
mean, you can't
I did it for a living
get
for
of it.
in the cover band. It wasn't. I mean, yeah, you're not getting rich, but I was making just as much as I'm making right now. That's
Oh
what I'm like.
man.
I'm thinking, I was playing in a band and I was laughing every night when I got paid, when they gave me the money or a check. I just like laughing. You're paying me for this? It was like, I can't believe I'm getting paid because I'd have done it for free.
Yeah, when you're younger like that, yeah.
Well, I'd still now, because it was just like always. And I thought I would do that with the drones. I like flying the drones so much, but now it's like, no, I won't do it. You got to pay me. My
Yeah.
time
I
is
kinda had a situation like that. Like, I'd been t going to tanning salon this for years, and then I was like they needed, one of my girlfriends got, a manager job at this tanning salon. I was like, "Hey, I love Palm Beach Tan. I've been going there for years. How'd you get a manager job?" She's like, "Why don't you just get one?" And I was like, yeah, why don't I? So then I got a job as a manager at a Palm Beach Tan, and then I was like, after a while, I was like, "Oh god, man, I just ruined this for myself." It's
this
like
sucks now. Now I don't even like tanning, and I don't.
right, I gotta look behind the curtain, and my happy place is no longer my happy place. I just totally ruined it for myself, right?
Exactly. So yeah, tip to others: do not turn your hobby that you love into your try and turn it into your job because you'll end up hating it.
Right, right.
But
Yeah.
hey, we've been going for like an hour and a half. I don't know how long it's going to take to download each side.
Whoa.
So
Didn't feel like it.
I know it. We're going to have to do another one. It's always good
Yeah.
talking with you. We can carry on. We need to
You
do it regular.
too. Yes. You helped wake me up. I was kinda tired. I'd been, like, cleaning and moving furniture all day.
Oh yeah, I've been wanting to take a nap too. Just before I was like, man, I'm tired too. I was tired.
Right,
Time for
right.
a nap. So
2023 wore us out.
it did. Let's kick ass in 2024.
Heck yeah. Heck
So
yeah.
look forward to it. Look forward to
Alright.
hearing you getting your house in North Carolina. I think you should move to Texas, but hey, North Carolina's okay too. I'm not gonna knock it.
Yeah, what? We can make a compromise, and we could both move to Arizona.
Be near Pace,
Pace yeah, Pace is like, "Anybody wants to come play golf with me tomorrow?" It's
right? Well, you can do that, or we can go to Georgia and hang out with Abraham Gray and Alexis Morgan.
Oh, Georgia.
Yeah, they're in Georgia, so that's closer
I'm
to you
just
guys.
looking in the beach part. North Carolina's got 3 parts. It's got the the coastal part, it's got Piedmont, and then it's got the mountain region.
See, now that would
I
be nice. That would be
I've
nice.
been looking at the coast. I've been looking from Emerald Isle, which is just south of the Outer Banks,
Mhm.
all the way down into South Carolina, down to where Myrtle Beach. Like,
Okay.
I'm looking all around there, and I was looking heavy in Wilmington there too.
See, I wonder.
Um,
I want beach. I want mountains. Those are that's I like beach and mountains. So if you can have them
mhm.
both close and within close proximity, that'd be great.
Yeah, we
But
could
let me
get
end this so we can see how long it's going to take to record each side, and then it's been great talking to you. And we're gonna have to
you
schedule another one.
too.
And we got stuff going on with Shanna next year. We're gonna start working on a DTA, right, for the group. Are you still up for
Mhm.
that?
Yeah.
Okay, so we really got to get in gear on that one. I was hoping to start maybe by the end mid of the month or the end of the month, trying to start do that once a week, maybe once a month. We'll have to talk about it, but I have other people also going to do some trainings too. So,
Mhm.
did you ever get the invite for the other group? I don't
I
think you
think I
did.
did.
All right, try
I
and get
think
in
it
there.
Yeah,
I
I
wa-
think I did, and I think I accepted it.
okay, I'll have to see if
Did
yours. I think I'll look. So other people been getting in there somehow. I have been having to kick them out. I don't
Oh, really? You
know
didn't
how
make it, like, private? Well,
it is private
maybe
and hidden. It's private and hidden, but there's one day I had to unhide it so I think Debbie Clements could get in it. And I think when I unhid it, it sent out invitations because all of a sudden there was a bunch of people in there. So I kicked them all out.
or
Yeah.
people that are in there were sending invitations.
Maybe either one, but I kicked them out and I kind of said in that group, hey, this is private. This is just, I'm building a team. It's going to be called Action Takers University. So I wanted to get
Mhm.
that name taken, but it's just going to be the team. And then that's going to be the founding people for Action Takers University. We all build it.
Did
If we can
you
build it into a paying community, my goal is to build it into a paying community like Pace did, that way. But the other thing is my thing is I want it more focused since I've had such a hard time and struggle figuring some things out. I want it focused to the newbie getting into business and real estate investing where we
Mhm.
can, because that's where my struggles have been. I'm a newbie in this, so I want it really focused on newbies. We can maybe help newbies get their first couple deals so they can buy in and use our affiliate links to buy into sub 2 or whatever programs we're in.
Mm,
That's the other goal
mhm.
with it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we still recording?
Yes, still
Oh,
recording.
yeah. I see
Okay.
it.
So yeah, I just wanted to let you know some of the goals for the group, and
Mhm.
we'll go from there. Another
Okay.
love talking with you.
So listen, I mean, I know I'm getting a recording of this as well,
Mhm.
but did you wanna end it first before we
Yeah,
go?
let me end this so we know I can get it to you. Because if it's too big of a recording, it might be hard to send.
I can't tell you how many times I forgot that we were, like,